All right, friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen and this is Growing Zone 9B. So we have been really busy this week. It's been a really rough week for us. My fiance has been in the hospital for most of the week, and so we have not really been home to manage the garden as well. And we'll get into that later. I do want to have a discussion about what's going on with him, because what's going on with him may help other people. But as I always preach to you guys, you know, eating from the garden, getting that good nutrients from your garden is just so important. Implementing raw foods into your diet is also really important. We need to keep that in mind. So as we are out here today, it is all about the bok choy. So I'm getting ready to actually go over to my parents' house. My sister-in-law is gonna do my hair. She's a hairdresser, so blessings to her. And I literally have bok choy that is basically the size of cabbage at this point. So here's the bok choy. It's literally, this thing is giant. This camera is probably not doing it justice. It's taking up almost half the size of a jumbo vegan bed, Vigo grow bed. And so I'm going to actually be taking this over to my parents. Here's another one. It's just coming out. Oh, look at this. The leaves themselves are literally like the size of my hands. And I planted more over here, and then there's one right there. And thankfully the nasturtiums have survived the cold weather. The ones that were kind of overlapped and under others are just sitting over there looking beautiful. And that has been such a good thing. I thought I had lost my bananas, but I actually have not, thankfully. I did lose some, but not as many as I thought I was going to lose. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this cut today, because I am going to take one to my sister-in-law and then one over to my parents. Actually, I may just end up just pulling this one up. So let's just get this one pulled up without damaging it. Ooh. I probably should have dug it out a little bit. Oh, look, there's this little snail. I'll let it live, it's fine. All right, yeah. I'm gonna get this bottom actually cut off a little bit here. All right, look at that, friends. Is that not just gorgeous? So compared to my person, look how big this is. It's way bigger than my head. That's what I said. I don't think the camera's really doing it justice until you actually see it. And I'm squishing it because I'm like holding it. So this is what one of them looks like. The other one is much bigger. And so, friends, I have been eating on this for at least 2 or 3 weeks now, because I do have some over in the other bed. We also have some carrots and we have broccoli. Most people right now are just getting ready to start doing their planting, which of course, you know, is important. We need to constantly kind of be thinking about what we're going to be implementing in the garden for spring. But I chose to keep some of these winter vegetables in because I wanted to also be able to continue harvesting. Now, what I have gone and planted is I planted a new variety of tomatoes. It's something about Florida. Right now my head's not clear, so after spending a lot of time in the hospital with my fiance, I cannot think of the name of it right now, but I will list it in this video so that you guys have it. I've planted that. I've planted some okra, but this is the star for today. What a beautiful, beautiful nutrient dense food source that we have. Bok choy, amazing, amazing and delicious. And I still, as you can see, I still have more down here, and I'm gonna cut this big one for my parents. So let's get that one pulled out. All right, here we go with this one. Whew, this is a big mama right here. I probably honestly should get a shovel. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get the shovel and try to pull that one out. right, friends, so here's this one. It's so big that I really just can't even hardly hold it. I mean, this thing has got to weigh probably a solid like 6 pounds or more. This is just giant. Like, it's not even fitting in the frame of the camera with me in it. Like, and I'm holding my arm all the way out. This is just, friends, this is where we grow. You're not gonna find this in the grocery store. You're just not. All right, friends, so over here we have gotten those Bok Choy. Now you guys saw they were absolutely gorgeous, so huge. And we are just looking forward to sharing that. I love being able to bless people and share the fruit and vegetables that I'm growing. That is one of the biggest things that I get joy from. It's just being able to share. So in this bed over here, y'all know I had covered this bed up and I said I didn't want to show the carrots until I had completed you know, the cold weather, because I didn't want to keep pulling those sheets on and off. But needless to say, just last week we had another cold spell, so I had to come back out here and cover up a majority of these plants and vegetables again, even after I revamped. So I wanted to show you guys that we actually have some delicious carrots. What tastes better than Bok Choy carrots? I've got some kale, and then I'm going to show you guys that we have some broccoli. I'm going to cut that broccoli today as well. All right, let's see if we can dig in here and find us some delicious carrots. Now, I don't know how large these carrots are actually going to be, but let's see what we can find. All right, look at that little nubby one. Now these are, I think they're called Coda carrots, Coda. I'll put the name of these as well and list them out for you guys. But look, we've got some delicious carrots popping out of the garden. Oh, look, here's another one. Look how great that is. I'm gonna put a couple of these beautiful carrots in the bag for my family so they can have just a couple to try. Look at that. That's, I mean, I overcrowded these anyway, but friends, it doesn't get much better than this, just being able to pull out your own carrots. That's so gorgeous. And there are so many in here. Now remember, you can use the tops of your carrots in stews, and you can dry them out and use them as a nice herb, especially when people aren't feeling well. A lot of nutrients is in these stems, and a lot of people just end up tossing these or feeding them to your animals if you have animals. And of course, that's a good idea to do it that way. But I always save some back just because I do like to add them into my broths. Now, recently, since my fiance's been sick, I've been trying to find things to like help heal his body. And he technically has, which we will discuss later, he has polycystic kidney disease. It is noted in the medical sciences as being an incurable disease. It is a hereditary disease, unfortunately. And so we are taking every measure we can at this point to try and heal his body and treat him the best we can. We know that nature heals and God heals, and that's what we're praying for. But, you know, it is a journey for us. And so I wanted to tell you guys that I've been making him, I got a book. This was maybe like 2 weeks ago. Now I've had these books, and I'll have to bring the book out and show you. It's called Nourishing Traditions. And so I made him a broth. It's called Liquid Gold. And I think at some point that you and I should try to make this broth, just because if you have anybody that has an autoimmune sickness, you know, or disease or illness in their life, and or they've been in the hospital, especially if you have elderly parents or someone who might need that boost of energy. You're getting the C, you're getting flu, you're getting neuro, you're getting one of those things going on. You need to rehydrate your body. You need to get that nutrients back in your system. And for sure, I think that that's something that we need to make, especially considering we have these fresh carrots. I have some onions over there, just small little onions, but you know what? If you can grow onions, grow the onions. And then I want to show you this, friends. Look at this. Look at this kale. This purple is insane. I mean, I have been coming out here and just munching on this. I believe that I picked this kale up from Baker Creek. It's so gorgeous. It's so beautiful. I just love looking at it. It just makes such a beautiful accent to the garden. Plus with these beautiful flowers over here. We have the nasturtium or nastrium. Remember, these are edible flowers. And then over here, this is the section that I have been eating from. Let me get out of the shadow here. I have been eating from this bok choy. Now, as you can see, I definitely overcrowded the bed. I did not come out here and have time to thin this bed, but nonetheless, it's made little bok choys, and there was a big one over there in that area. I just pulled that big one up, and I've been eating on that literally just because it's like the two of us. I was able to consume it for, honestly, like, not even joking you, I had mixed it in with other deliciousness for about the past week, especially if you're making a soup. See down here, you can see where I've been cutting it and pulling them up, and I'm just gonna turn these back under. Now, a lot of times you'll see new growth starting to come out of the tops up here. If you want to, this is a cut and come again. It's not as, doesn't work as well in my opinion, but needless to say, it does work. I still have some arugula. It's going to flower, so it's going to make stuff taste a little bit more bitter. Here's the arugula. You can see it's flowering. Now, you can keep the seeds. That's what I'm probably going to let this go to. It's just some seeds, but you can see all down here, I still have a bunch of arugula. I still got arugula over in the other bed. I'm feeding my pollinators. I've got some bees coming around, and that's important to me. But over here, you can see this is tiny little okra coming up. So I've got some okra, and over here are those tomatoes that I was telling you about, and I will put the name of them in the video so that you guys have them. It is a Florida variety, and I'm looking forward to actually trying this. Now, they are big, kind of like beefsteak tomatoes, but look at these little beautiful okras I've got. I'm so excited to see this come up in the garden, especially after our cold weather. And of course, y'all know that I still have plenty of mustard greens going on. Let's go over here and check out that broccoli. So here is the broccoli. Look at that. You can see it's starting to change a little bit in color. So we need to go ahead and cut this broccoli now. Yeah, you can see this one. This one's starting to go to flower. So it did start to warm up a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this. Look at that. It's a beautiful broccoli head. And I'm gonna cut this other one now. So here we go. 2 broccoli heads. Like I said, one's starting to flower, but the other one's still absolutely beautiful. I will make sure that my fiance gets a little bit of that. Then as you can see down here, we've got a cabbage coming in. There's a cabbage in the back. There's one right there next to the rosemary. So I'm hoping pretty soon we're gonna have some delicious cabbage in our life. There's another little kale that I've put in the garden because I'm loving the purple color. I've gone ahead around here and I've added a few more. You see there's a kale, there's a kale, there's a kale. So we've got some kale coming up. Now it may get quite warm. Here's another kale that I've planted in the garden over here. But of course my mustards are obviously still standing out and being proud. I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of these mustards as well for my family because they're just beautiful. Look at that purple color. And when we're standing here and I've got my nasturtium or nastrium, they're just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at that color in there. That yellow color is just insane next to these purple mustards. So I'm gonna get in here because it's so thick. I need to clear some of this out and just start sharing this with my friends and my family. I love mustards. You can mix these in juices and it's just so beautiful. And as you guys can see, I want you to see that I'm gonna do some cleanup now that we're home. My fiance cannot be out here lifting a lot of stuff, but like this one died unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to pull this banana out, and of course this one was dead anyway because we got fruit off of it. But you can see at the top of those I see life, and so I'm gonna clean them up, and I'm praying that these bananas are just gonna sit here and just thrive with us so that we're gonna get more delicious bananas coming into season. And then the bed I had previously planted and showed you guys that I just ran up to Lowe's, or Home Depot rather, my fiance had with the boys, and look at that, that's still doing lovely. My mint's hanging in there looking great. And that's what it's about, friends. It's just finding joy in the garden and freshness and deliciousness this time of year. I mean, you can't pass this up right here. Look at that. It's just so beautiful. It's beautiful. I just love looking at it. I love it. All right, friends, as always, until next time, love one another, be kind, and I cannot wait to continue this journey with each and every one of you.